It features a new documentary about the patriarch of the New Orleans First Family of Jazz, Ellis Marsalis. He was a New Orleans pianist and educator, and the documentary explores the life and career of his music with rare footage of key moments in U.S. history and footage of his final live performances. He is the father of sons Wynton, Branford, Delfeayo, Ellis III, and Jason. The film tells the story of his illustrious life. Listen up, you jazz enthusiasts. There's a new documentary out right now about the patriarch of the famed New Orleans First Family of Jazz, Ellis Marsalis. He was a New Orleans musician and educator, and the documentary explores the life and career of his music with rare footage of key moments of U.S. history and footage of his final live performances. He is the father of sons Wynton, Branford, Delfeayo, Ellis III, and Jason, and the film tells the story of his illustrious life. I'd like to welcome the director and producer, Sasha Hughes, and she is here for the screening of Ellis. Welcome, Sasha.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
We should be thanking you. So first of all, welcome to Dallas. Congratulations on this wonderful film. And I want to know what inspired you to do this.
I can't sum it up in one sentence. I have to tell you a little bit where it all comes from. When I was very, very young, my mom played Miles Davis to me. And that really opened my ears to this beautiful music. And as I was growing up, I wanted to become a filmmaker. And very early on, I figured I want to make films that are somehow about this music. And the older I grew, the more I realized they all come from New York. So I'm from Berlin, Germany. And so I came to New York to pursue that. And the most natural thing is when you're in New York and you love jazz to think about New Orleans and the cradle of it all, right? And so that was always a dream. Worked on a few different projects there and started an oral history collection of filmed interviews of musicians, and along the lines I met Ellis Marsalis, and I fell really just I was so impressed when they can say I fell in love with him. And then I eventually was able to get an interview with him, and that led to this documentary. So it was, if I was to sum it up, it's the beauty of music and the admiration for the people who create it.
People always think about Ellis's sons actually becoming jazz musicians, but he also inspired so many other people in New Orleans. And I read something, Harry Connick said the most important thing he learned from Ellis Marsalis was the process of discovery. He already knew everything I was trying to learn, but he always made me figure things out for myself. That's what Harry Connick said. And I think that's just so telling of and giving how Ellis was as an educator as well as a mentor. You know what I mean?
Yes, we have several actually in there, and one of them is a wonderful pianist, Jessie McBride, who studied with him and who tells the story. I'm not going to give it away altogether, but how Ellis put him on the path, and so it became a real support and mentor to him. It's a beautiful story, so I don't want to give it away. And also we talked to Wendell Pierce, the actor, and who was very influenced by Ellis and who was his personal mentor. And Wendell was friends with Branford and Wynton and absorbing what they were doing, and Ellis was able to give Wendell the courage and the inspiration to believe in himself and again figure it out for himself. And there are a few other musicians who studied with Ellis we interviewed, and there is the through line that he would always make them figure it out for themselves, discover what they have inside of them, think for themselves, and realize, how do I actually hear something, and how do I do something, what do I hear, and how do I translate it into what I want to do? So it's that critical thinking, and original thinking that he inspired, and I admire that so much.
All right, Sasha, thank you again for this wonderful documentary. I can't wait to see it, and I would like to tell my viewers out there, if they'd like to get more information on where to find Ellis, the documentary, they can visit sashahughes.com.
Yes, and there's also an Instagram account that will tell you everything about it. Find just under my name. It's very simple to find.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And you can go to our website at cw33.com for more information. Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you.